Hey guys, Zenica here again with another video about Quake Champions. In this video, we're going to talk about the 5 pillars of Quake, which is the foundation to having a strong game. First, I'm going to show you a situation, and at the end of the video, explain how it happens. First off, let's take a look at item timing. Item timing is as it sounds, knowing the item time for an item. How to know an item time without getting into a risky position, and also not forgetting the item time after you've picked it up. This actually happens quite a lot when you start getting two numbers confused in your head, or use Quake 3 timing. Timing is important because it allows you to set up on items early, and dictate how you can maneuver around to shut out your opponent in the room. You can improve item timing in a few ways. First, see how you can prepare for items from a faraway distance, to know the general timing first, or guesstimating the time from far away based on your opponent's movement from the item. Or secondly, if you're in control, don't be afraid to delay the item time for at least 5 seconds, as this will confuse your opponent from its natural 30-second cycle after spawning. Play lots of duels and get a sense of how much you're able to hear. Sound is based on distance, so try to stay relatively close when listening for the item time. Second is positioning. Positioning allows you to use guns easier and have a DPS advantage over your opponent. Sometimes positioning is not always key, as someone with incredible aim can sometimes trump over positional advantages. This is what allows you to hold items, but more importantly, secure frags. To improve, simply practice a lot for how you can better utilize guns from different angles. Especially if you're a fast moving champion, you can manipulate the different weapon selections on your opponent. Otherwise, watch my video on gun positioning. Keep in mind, don't stop until you're dead, as there's always a chance unless you've been fragged. The third pillar is aim, and it's exactly what it sounds like. This can only come from in-game practice. The way you can improve this is by simply playing a lot. You want to play in similar settings every time you sit down. This will help with muscle memory and also allowing your brain to recognize similar patterns versus particular champions. Aiming is almost an entirely subconscious thing. If you think about it less and go by how it feels, you'll have a much more fluid play. You will lose a lot initially, because what you feel is right is actually the wrong choice, but it will continuously get better as your brain recognizes certain situations. Keep a lookout on this channel for a video specifically about aim. The fourth pillar is movement and dodging. Every champion has different speeds and acceleration. If you're able to get a certain position fast, it changes the whole dynamic of how the maps are being played. Especially for smaller base models, this is extremely important and maximizes the amount of value from your champion. If you don't utilize it, you're almost always at a disadvantage. To improve at movement and dodging, watch tutorials and look very carefully how people are engaging in rooms. This is another subconscious behavior but can be learned as you're more aware of the intricacies of champions' movement. The last pillar on the list is strategy. Strategy is your ability to set a playstyle to your opponent and then change it during play. This is last on the list as generally you need to have all the other pillars to a certain level before this becomes effective. This is where your own personal style becomes relevant in game. Do whatever feels comfortable for you and expand on your horizons in practice. If you try something new, it will always be strange at first. Strategy comes from changing the tempo in game, prioritizing certain weapons over items, or playing more passively instead of aggressively at different moments. This will keep your opponent always guessing. The final tip I have is just to not give up. Until you're actually dead in game, these situations can be easily swung around if your opponent misses or you go for an unorthodox play. It will require your opponent to make a mistake, but humans are imperfect in their thinking, and that's what makes it interesting. Now with that information, let's check out the first clip I showed at the start of the video. So here I know the item time spawns at 140. So I push up, see if he's coming from bridge, so I have rockets out so I can do wallbang damage, and then I hear this coming from railgun. So I quickly try to challenge him by hitting one railgun shot, then use his LG to push me back so I can hit another rail, but he's coming at me so I use the LG to do a bit of damage, and try to do as best as I can just to get him a bit lower. I start losing the fight because of his strong LG, and then change to rockets, use his LG to push me back, so then I can change to rail and he can't do any more damage while that's happening. Now in that situation it does actually require Astro Boy to push at me with that angle, and go next to that wall, so it's easy for me to hit that rocket, but those are situations you need to be looking out for, and that's what can happen in the game. Alright guys, that's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more Quake Champions tutorials and gameplay. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.